It's been 2 weeks since I picked up this Moment camera case. In this video, I'm going to talk about what I like and dislike about it. Let's dive in. So the first thing that's obvious is the style and design of it. I'm a big fan of it. I love this tan color that I have. They have a couple other cool colors as well, but I like the contrast with the black back. I like the black camera mount as well. The buttons are super clicky, super high quality. Another part of the design that I really like is the bottom piece is actually completely flush with the screen, which makes it much easier if you're swiping up. Your case isn't getting in the way of your thumb and you don't have to work around the case. It's just one seamless, smooth motion, which is really nice. And yeah, it just feels like a really premium case. Now, I'm guessing if you're looking at this case, you're probably interested in it because it has the mounting capabilities for different lenses, different filter systems, things like that. And I have to say, I really enjoy the ability to mount ND filters to it and use the anamorphic lens from Moment as well. It's nice that it's all just built right into the case and you don't need to get extra cages or anything like that. Now, I know you can get those little clips that allow you to use ND filters on really any case or any phone. I just don't love that. They're pretty bulky and they're at risk of falling off, so I'm not really big on that. So this definitely feels secure when you're putting on the ND filter mount, as well as that anamorphic lens, or if you're using the wide angle lenses or telephoto lenses. I haven't really been able to test out the anamorphic lens yet, but that'll be a separate video. So if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe. Now, it is a little bit of a bummer that Moment has their own proprietary mounting system. I know a lot of people aren't a huge fan of that. They wish it was more of the universal 17mm thread, but it is what it is. It's something that Apple does. They want you in their ecosystem. They want you using their products. This is not unique to Moment. And what I've noticed is companies are actually adapting to bring in the Moment system. So this newer cage, for example, it came with a few different mounting plates, and this one is specifically for the Moment lenses. So it's nice to see that other manufacturers are recognizing that Moment's putting out some pretty cool stuff and making it accessible and available to be able to use those lenses on their products as well. So good job, Neewer and other manufacturers doing that. This case also feels really protective. It's a little bit big, it's a little bit thick, but it's definitely protective. I have already dropped it once, so you can see where I actually dropped it a little bit, but I think overall it took it really well. Obviously, it kept the phone safe. It's not just about the ability to add camera lenses to it. It's actually a really good protective case as well. So those are some of the things that I really like about the case, but it's not perfect. There are a few things that are pretty annoying, but let's dive into those now. So as I just mentioned, it's super protective, but with that comes some bulkiness. It's actually pretty thick on the bottom of the case. You can see that the thickness here is different than the thickness here, which is a bit frustrating because that prevents you from plugging in some accessories directly into the phone. If it was the same thickness on both sides, it would actually allow you to use other accessories without needing a USB-C extension little accessory, because those accessories then push it out almost too far. So it's really hard to find that sweet spot. And then it's also thick from the midpoint back, which is a little bit frustrating when it comes to plugging in SSDs. A lot of times you'll see an SSD comes with a cable that has an angle to it, and if that angle is too shallow, it can't actually fit the thickness of the USB-C port to the back of the phone. So you can't use some of those angled cables, which is pretty annoying. Again, you could use the extender, one of these little guys. You could use a little one of these little guys. You could use a little USB-C extender, but still that doesn't really help with the thickness to the back, which is, you know, a little bit annoying. When you compare it to something like the Apple silicone case, it's definitely thinner, certainly not as protective, but at least you can use accessories no problem. So that's definitely a frustrating piece of this case. I've also noticed that the MagSafe doesn't feel super strong. And I'm coming from using cases from Peak Design, which I didn't actually realize how strong their magnets were until I used this one. I just feel like it's not as secure as it could be. I like to use this little ring. It's a stand, but it also has a little finger loop as well. And for something like this, it's fine. Like it gets the job done. But I mentioned I dropped my phone, and that was because I was using a MagSafe selfie stick, and I was adjusting a setting, and I just pushed on the screen a little too hard, and it released from the selfie stick, fell down. Obviously got that little ding that I mentioned. So the MagSafe, I don't actually trust when using on a selfie stick. So yeah, I wish the magnets were a little bit stronger in that. And then one thing that might bother some people is the black material on the back of the case. It's grooved slightly. It has a nice texture to it. But with that comes the capturing of dust. And you do see some dust getting stuck in those grooves here and there. I'm starting to see a little bit of wear on the case, some scratches and stuff like that. I don't really worry about that too much. It's a phone case. Over time, you're gonna see stuff like that. You can replace the case. It is what it is. I'm not gonna get super critical over that. But yeah, if dust is a thing that bothers you on your phone, that might be something that deters you from buying this case. But what I will say is, even though it still collects some dust, it is so much better than the Apple silicone iPhone case. This one, I have used this a couple times and it is already gathering dust pretty significantly. So not a fan of that one, but that one is also way sleeker. It is lighter. It certainly doesn't add a lot of bulk. Kind of my last dislike is with protection comes some heft, and this is a bulky case. It feels pretty substantial. It feels pretty heavy. So if you're looking for something that's, lightweight, doesn't add much to the phone, this is definitely not the case for you. So to wrap up, who is this for? I would say a creator. If you're not going to use the lenses or attach ND filters or anything like that, I would go with a different case. I don't think you need this one. You're paying a premium for things that you aren't going to use. So if you're not going to use lenses or anything like that, just go get a different case. I know this comes with the little frame that removes the camera interlocking and quick release systems, but if you're going to do that, just go get a different case. You don't need to spend the money on this one because you're losing basically all of the value if you're not going to use it that way. I would also say if you are looking for something that's pretty sleek and lightweight, this is not the case for you. Like I said, this one is a bit bulky, but it does feel super protective. So if you are out there run and gun filming with your iPhone, this definitely feels like it's going to keep your phone safe while giving you the ability to use some additional camera lenses and things like that. So do I recommend it? Yes, for content creators, people who are actually going to use the camera functionality. I think it's a great case. It's on my phone more often than any other case, and I've been super happy with it. And before we go, I haven't done a video yet on the anamorphic lens, but I will be doing one soon. So be sure to like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing the anamorphic 1.33 lens from Moment. This is the new one. I'll be doing some cinematic style videos with that. So be on the lookout for that, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.